We live in a culture that loves to say, protect your peace and cut them off. And it feels good to say that. It feels powerful. But there's a massive difference between just setting boundaries and just running away from a difficult conversation. You see, one creates respect, while the other just repeats a cycle. And if you are thinking about letting go of a relationship right now, whether it's a partner, a friend, or a family member, I need you to ask yourself one question first. Are you actually drawing the line in the sand? Or are you just scared to face what's on the other side of it? Welcome back to the Self Unlock channel. I'm Max, and today we're doing some deep identity work on how we handle conflict. And here's some truth. Running away often masks itself as a boundary. When we feel overwhelmed, our nervous system floods. We go into fight or flight. And often cutting someone off isn't a strategic decision for our health. It's just a flight response dressed up in self-care verbiage. So how do you know if you're running? The key is panic versus peace. If your decision to cut them off feels frantic, if it comes from a place of, I need to make this feeling stop right now, you are most likely running. You're not managing the relationship. You are trying to manage your own anxiety by deleting the person causing it. And the problem? Well, the problem is you can delete the person, but you can't delete the pattern. And if you run now without the understanding, you will meet the same person in a different body 6 months from now. Now, let's look at a true boundary. Real boundary setting is not about punishing the other person. It's not about using silence as a weapon. A boundary is simply you defining where you end and where they begin. When you set a real boundary, you aren't necessarily leaving. You are staying, but you are changing the terms of engagement. You are actually saying, I love you, but I will no longer participate in this specific dynamic. You see, this way takes more courage than just ghosting someone. It requires emotional intelligence. It requires you to stand in the fire of an awkward conversation and say what you need without attacking them and without collapsing yourself. And if we're cutting them off because we're afraid to speak our truth, that is fear. That is not a boundary. So how do you decide? How do you know if it's time to actually walk away or if you need to stay and do the work? I want you to try this. And let's call it the mirror test. And before you send that final text or block that number, I want you to close your eyes and imagine a scenario. Imagine that tomorrow, this person wakes up and changes completely. They become exactly who you wanted them to be. They are kind. They listen. They stop the toxic behavior. Here's my question. If they changed everything, would you still want to leave? If the answer is no, I'd stay, then your issue is likely with their behavior. And this might be a place for a boundary conversation, not an exit. But if the answer is yes, I'd still want to go, then you're not running. You've simply outgrown the room, and that's okay. That is the difference between cutting off toxic people because you're scared and leaving because you have evolved. Self-accountability is tough. It's easier to blame them and leave. It's even harder to ask, am I running because I haven't learned how to speak up?